Greetings. We're back. Okay, I guess last one was successful. So this is going to be I'm going to be upgrading this a little bit in the future, but for the most part, I believe this is sufficient. And so far, I'm liking it. It's weird. You don't want to know what I'm looking at right now. It's like a whole screen of a whole bunch of stuff happening. So it's going to take some time getting used to, but the quality of it's a lot better, and I'll work on the quality in the future. But you can hear me. Well, you can hear somebody can hear me somewhere. All right, I'm going to check the chat 1 second. I'll be back. And doesn't seem like anything's happening in the chat at the moment, so that's okay. Alright, greetings everyone. And yes, we have a cat here. Zoe's here. He's over there, he can't. He's ready for his hour nap, or 8-hour nap, so it's raining outside, so there's nowhere to go. But inside and sleep, so yeah, it's not your typical rain. It's rain, but then it's like hurricane rain. Just like flooding rain. So it's fine, and all of a sudden we just get hit and just floods the whole place. So alright, let me check the chat one more time, make sure all is well. Okay, cool. Alright everybody, whoops. Was that a new system type? Technical difficulties? Could be issues? No, it should be fine now. I'll be probably, as long as this goes well, I'm going to upgrade this a little bit so I have maybe a better picture. But for right now, this is okay. It's a lot better than it was yesterday, that's for sure. Okay, tonight is basically just opening it up for whatever it is. I didn't look at the news or anything. I don't think it really matters, but I can glance at that. I don't want to get any of this. I don't want to touch anything. Oh gosh, I need to show this. What is this called? Penelope? I don't think I can do anything right now. Or maybe I can. No, I can't. I'll have to do a screenshot later. For another day. Not that important. So at least with this, I can scroll through websites, and unlike the other one, I had to do screenshots. I do some screenshots with this stuff, but I don't do a whole lot of that anyway, so it's all good as long as all power, all audio is working. It doesn't really matter what you're seeing here, but yeah, for Spirit Guides, we're going to go into a little bit more, maybe the Buddha and and Yeshua connections, and also go into more detail. Basically, what channeled information I get from Spirit Guides to give. I was going to have like a snarky title, but I decided not to do that. Basically, for those who are not aware of their guides, and we're going to try and go into more details. Yeah, that's pretty crucial. That doesn't mean, I mean, some people don't connect to your guides at all, which is quite understandable. You might connect to aliens, you might connect to Yeshua, or Buddha, or Michael, or Elvis, and you don't really connect to your guides. It is not to say I have all the answers for it, but I can at least get some input into it. Does seem like we're going to go into a little bit more details of your guides and how it works. I can give you some what I've picked up on is that, well, usually you know your guide, your main guide, even my main guide. I'm not sure. I mean, Apollo, Gabrielle's over here. Gabrielle. I was driving and I saw I visualized her in the car. She's like very white, very angelic-like, so gives you an idea of what it can show up as anything, though. So they can, yeah, anything. So that's just to give you an idea. Apollo is like a Greek god, basically. In some ways, bald. Usually the males around me are normally bald, not all of them. So, because I probably had a lot of times that I was bald, so that's why I see them as bald. There's a reason for it. So either way, we're going to go into more details on that. But what I got to give you a little bit more insight of, well, like when souls are created, I believe some of them become spirit guides. Not your main guide, but they do assist because they have to learn somehow. So they just tag on. You know, they just show up and they're just there with you. So like souls are always being created. You create souls. Everybody creates souls. So I know it sounds weird, but we all work through God's consciousness. So we're all creators. So it takes time getting used to all this, but for connecting to your guides, we're going to go into more details of how to connect to them. You know, it's a process that can be like climbing a mountain. It's just like my guides. When I started, I had a problem with my guide. I mean, we can go into that again. That's fine. But yeah, Ulysses. When I got himself fired, I tried to have him fired. It's like, I can't talk to this guy. It's like I have a problem with him. I guess he was trying to run my life. You know, he was trying to rule me. It was weird. It's like live his life through me. So I'm doing all the stuff he wants to do instead of what I want to do. Is very bizarre. Not all guys are like that. Some are. Most are fine. But understand we choose that stuff too. That's fun, isn't it? So we choose these situations. And it's just to better ourselves, the more give us more of a deeper look at the world. It's very weird. So, but I do see new souls being created and assisting, but not being the main influence. Like, they're there, it's like, what do you think about this? And there's always a big conversation going around. It's not easy for them. As you can tell, many are very hard-headed, so it's hard for them to get their thoughts into you. So I'm going by a lot what I'm picking up on also. You know, this is like a channel conversation also. But through my experience, they do get mad. I know they got mad at me several times. So also give you through experience, a friend of mine that helped me find a tarot card reader that helped me connect and learn about my own abilities. Because a friend of mine, her name was Crystal, if I don't talk to her. I tried to contact her. She's disappeared. She's fine, I imagine, but she doesn't contact me back. Her name is Crystal. She got in a car accident, so she went to therapy, physical therapy. And at the therapy where they had therapy, there was a tarot card reader there, so she went and got a tarot read, and she does past life regressions, and then so I remember getting the text also about it. So it's like, you know, she said, hey, why don't you check this out? It's like, okay, sure, why not? And it's funny because I met Crystal like a month before all that happened. Like, she had an accident. Did I somehow run into her at Panera Bread? Because I know her through a friend at work, so I know of her, so it all sort of, yeah. Like, all of a sudden, she works there, and didn't know that, and then, so, and everything, so I went to see the tarot card person, and, but with Crystal, she said she did a meditation, and her guides said they were very, they were sad they were, they felt that they were failing her. So, that was a male guide. They're sorry we're failing you, and, you know, it's like, geez, that's quite intense for a guide to say something like that. So, and many people are going to be doing meditations like, yeah, you guys are a bunch of failures. So I don't know, it's different for everybody, of course, it's not always the case, but it does. So anyway, so give you an idea where we're headed here. So, so what's next on the agenda here is, alright, we're going to go into who I am. There's other places I'm advertising slowly on Facebook, I'm not sure, so there might be some new people here, possibly. There's VidMe, it's a video site. I keep thinking about that because I haven't uploaded anything in probably a month now, but anyway. Okay, so I'm going to try this out and see how it goes. I think this will be alright. I'll have to watch all this. So this is IvanTeller.com. I believe I can scroll through this. Yep. And you can find all the information about me here. Yeah, private sessions. Let's see if he gets to it. Alright, worked. So this is where the calendar is to see what I'm up to, see what times I have available. There's other methods of payment. Also, we have gift cards available somewhere right there, gift cards. I'm going to upgrade that eventually. I haven't quite got around to it. There's an about page, know more about me. There's also submit a question. And here you can, I'm catching up on these. It still takes 1 to 5 days. Usually I put 1 to 10 days, but I try to get this as quick as possible. Like I've been having issues with this streaming situation, so I believe I got this good enough right now. So I prefer to, I'll go into the streaming stuff later, but anyway, so it's caused a little bit of delay answering questions. So probably Wednesday will be my next cycle, because if you already submitted a question, probably Wednesday, because I have a webinar and all I do is answer questions and they get really worn out really quick. So if you haven't heard from me, most likely Wednesday you hear from me. So you can submit a question and receive an audio file. I've been using Box right now. I've been using Dropbox, but I filled it up. So I'm going to use Box and fill that up, then I'm going to go back to Dropbox. So if some are wondering why I'm using Box.com, that's why. And let's see here, and also here's Spirit Socials, what the services are. These are like $5 services: past life, healing, channeling, counseling, submit a question, message from Yeshua, things of that sort. Also spiritual connections from a day, 1 question from a day, chakra balancing from a day, soul painting, not from a day. Angelic Reiki, this is long distance Reiki. This is just added to the store, and I can't read that because it's set up here. But anyway, I highly recommend all of them, so just feel free to explore and try things out if you like. Especially healing is obviously very good. It takes some time getting used to that type of vibration, but so you can get another outlook on life for sure. And also here is Spirit Q. Yeah, it looks kind of primitive still, and I can't log into it right now because this is setup. But this is the social network. Still working on the details. I'm gonna replace the picture and jazz it up a little bit. But if you want something broadcasted on the show here, you can post it here. Of course, I haven't got to it, so most likely Wednesday we'll be back to that. Scenario. So here we are again. Yeah, it's good. It's going to take some time getting used to this, but the reason I'm doing the streaming, I don't know, it just feels right. Still working on details of understanding all of this. I'm using, it's called vMix. Actually, I'm not going to be doing this, but first I'm going to be upgrading the quality of it. Who knows when? Soon. Right now this is okay. It's decent. But I can actually, I think you can do it on other platforms, but like the Disney stuff, I can record, I can play this, I can stream it live from this thing. Of course the quality won't be that great, so like it matters. Probably in the future I'll probably go in this direction. You see I'm upgrading everything. I figure live streams would work better, because usually what I would do, I was record a lot of stuff on Zoom and just upload it. So I'll talk for maybe 30 minutes, and now this gets me talking a lot longer and going into more depth. It's a lot more interesting actually doing it live. Especially if something pokes around in the background. Mostly everything is pretty quiet right now. We have OK Google right here. I'm not sure if she's alive or whatever it is. Okay, Google, raise volume to 6. Okay, Google, what's shaking?
Sorry, I don't know how to help with that yet.
Okay, great. Oh, here. I never thought. Okay, Google, today in history.
My apologies. I don't understand.
Even fucking whatever you call it. What happened in history today? Okay, Google. What happened in history today? Is that the right wording?
Sorry, I can't help with that
God.
yet.
Okay, Google. Why were you even created? You don't know that either, right?
Google made me to help you.
You're not helping very much. Isn't it called like Today in History, and they give you all these facts and today, and just not doing anything. So anyway, one more while we play with the gadget. Okay, Google. What are spirit guides?
According to Wikipedia, in Western spiritualism, spirit guides are entities that remain as disincarnate spirits in order to act as a guide or protector to a living incarnated human being.
Great, everything's going to yellow. Hopefully the stream is still working. I just want to check real quick. I'm all yellow right now, but it should be okay. I'm just okay, Google. Tell me about Buddha.
According to Wikipedia, Buddhism is an Indian religion and dharma that encompasses a variety of traditions, beliefs, and spiritual practices largely based on teachings attributed to the Buddha.
Excellent, thank you. Yeah, I'm getting a bunch of yellow things here and there, so maybe I'm pushing it. Hopefully the stream looks halfway decent. So just let it stay yellowy. Right now everything seems to be actually running pretty good, except for all the yellow I'm seeing back here, but that's okay. Alright. Yeah, I should see. Man, Cat's got it good, that's for sure. So anyway. Okay, where we're going with all this. As for spirit guides, we're going to dive into... Alright, I'm going to give you what I see. And see where you can take it wherever you like. Basically, I mean, right now I see a bunch of spiritual... I wouldn't say all white people, but like angelic, I want to use the word. I haven't quite connected to it where it's like a spiritual mall where you see Zetas and all the aliens, and I imagine that does exist, but for right now, yeah, let me check something real quick, see if everything's okay. I guess everything's running good. So right now I'm getting yellow alert back here, so anyway, basically, like for the other side, I feel that all other sides are interconnected. They're all connected somehow, like the Zeta. I always want to say the Zeta, the Pleiadians, etc. They're all somehow connected. There's probably much more to it than that. But I'll give you my third density point of view, or my point of view of it, however you want to word it. Like with Ulysses, I was trying to kick him out, basically. Before he got fired, and I was given a Indian guide. I don't remember his name. American Indian to assist, to talk to, and then I always had a problem with Ulysses. It was always being a pain in the ass. So, as for why they get that far, is like the other side's not perfect, and they're always having conversations. I wouldn't say we're the hot topic. Other things are going on, not just here. Obviously, we're a big part of the other side, but I don't believe this is all what they're talking about. They're not talking about, oh wow, look at Earth. Mandy just bought herself a Mercedes. I told her not to, and she went and did it anyway. Now she's on this debt, and I have to go through depression and all that. But I believe that in some cases that's somewhat like it. In some ways, of course, it's at a hard way of looking at it, but I believe we are a hot topic. Let's put it that way. But as for, is everybody on the other side involved with us? I think quite a bit of it is, but not all of it. A lot of souls don't want anything to do with this world for obvious reasons. I think like in Sylvia Browne's book, everybody's having a conversation and everybody's just boring as hell from her point of view. They're probably not, uh, but a lot of them aren't even physical. They're more energy. So, I mean, for our point of view, we visualize probably everybody's human, a bunch of angelic people that are human looking, which I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But they do have conversations about us all the time trying to figure this out. Like, we see our problems, but for them, we are their, I would say, mission. I want to say that we're their problem. Like, so I want to say that, but we're their mission. So they're trying to figure us out. I mean, I don't think they always have us fully figured out. Like, they have it all figured. They see everything, but can they get everything into us? Because it's still our decision. Like, should you get this job at Walmart, or should you, go become a lawyer instead, where there's like a million lawyers? Good luck on that. But, it's like, obviously you have the choices. They see the outcome of every choice. And it's up to you. They do give you their guidance, but you can always ignore it. There are cases where they can't, they can give you indications of, like, maybe I should take, like, room number, you have A, B, and C, and, like, I'll take number C, but they can give you indications that's a good idea, but they can't always, because you have to learn from those mistakes. Mistakes do make us better. Of course, in our world, mistakes lose money. I think the money thing is the one that hurts the most. Of course, you can lose life also, of course, and that's really bad. But a lot of it's, usually it's money connected, mostly. But of course, there's a life involved with it also, especially like a doctor or in an ER or something like that. So, I mean, there's this, it's, especially like a doctor in an ER, you imagine the intensity and how many guides they have. They have a lot, because guides are always talking to other people's guides too. They're always having conversations, especially before you meet like the love of your life. Guides are involved with that also. Of course, you're involved with it also in astral. You just don't remember it when you come back in. So, like when events happen, you forget something, you have a car crash or whatever it is, or you get married for some messed up reasons, like maybe I shouldn't have did that, whatever it is. All of it, I believe it's, for the most part, it's already, it's like, I think even like your memories, like your memory doesn't always work, mine doesn't always work, and you forget things, and a lot of that, I think, is done on purpose. It has its reasons behind it. We don't see it all. But yeah, there's a lot of activity within the guides. There's one other case. This will be interesting. I imagine some people have heard this somewhere. If not, well. I went to a metaphysical church. I was kind of dying. I don't think it's around anymore. They had like a writing class, and it wasn't really that. It was, I don't know what it was. It had nothing about writing, though. It was like 4 people there. 4 counting myself. It's just people talking, basically, which was fine. It was great. I think they were feeling like they were going to weird me out too much, which wasn't the case. I kind of actually missed going there, but I had other things to do. It was on a Friday night, too, but I probably should have. It was weird. It was like a bunch of hippies, basically, but what I know now would probably be a lot useful. But what happened, which is interesting, everybody, we had like, I don't know, it was like, I don't know even what we were talking about. But after whatever our class was about, which is about probably nothing, everybody connected to a being and gave a message. I was channeling. I didn't know what the hell that was at the time. And I was like, I wasn't really, no, I do it all the time. It's like one would connect to an angel, just say a brief message. I mean, you can see the guy switch around, a being coming through, and it was just for a simple word, and then that was fascinating. There's a lady to my left that can hear guides constantly chatter. always chat. It's like, you're going to do this, you're going to do that. You know, I mean, it's like, but constantly chattering with her. I mean, they were good spirited, but always chattering. So just having a huge conversation. Always everything should go in shopping. They would, like her channel was like wide open, and she was just best friends with her own guides. So that was fun. So when they got to me to do a message from being channeled, I couldn't do it for anything. I was like, I just didn't feel comfortable. I wasn't ready for it. But what I did was now I'm doing it all the time, figures. But what I did, I just did a reading for everybody. I just connected to everybody's energy. And like the guy that was running it, I connected to his son. He's like 12 years old. I gave him kind of a pretty good description of his son and his, what's going on with him, because they had lost the car. It's like, I'm seeing this car. I think, we lost the car. They got repossessed because they didn't have enough money. So that was interesting. So so I just did a reading for everybody in the room, and the lady that always has the guides talking. It's like, do you have a message for me? It's like, I don't know. They said, don't even listen to me. Just talk to them. It's like, anyway. So that was neat. So you can have an opening to open your channel up. I don't know. It takes time to get used to. I don't do that because I have other things to do, but there's nothing wrong with it. Just basically, what are you picking up? Some people just have an opening here where they allow their guys to just... You're basically like you're out with friends. It's just they're always with you. And they're having a blast. But also some guides do get stuck into like the dark stuff. The reason I bring that up, because kind of on Earth there's a lot of dark stuff here. So they get into situations where they get pulled into. I don't believe your guides are dark. Some of them can be, though. I believe most of them are not, but some of them can be. So basically you can have, weird tastes, like drinking, cigarettes. I do bring in war energies. Not to say all your guides, like I said, not all of them are bad. But some of them do have a dark side of their own. I think I mentioned this a long time ago, because we're going to go into more details of at least what I'm picking up. Basically, they're pretty much bringing messages. They're letting me remember stuff too. Because there was a goth club I went to like years ago. I was going there for ideas for stories and stuff. And it was like I was thinking like the future goth world, and like this goth club was kind of like this. It was cool. It had a cool. So that is still. I'm not gonna mention it here, but I will eventually. There's a lot of stuff I really want to copyright, so just in case, because this stuff does get stolen, so I would share it eventually. Because every now and then I play with that. But anyway, the goth club, I didn't feel like going there, but that's when Gabriella became known to her. All of a sudden I wanted to go to the goth club. I was like, I don't want to go, but I went anyway. But it's like, why am I here? I don't really want to be here. So I went there, I hung out, sat there. It's like, okay, why am I here again? It was the dark side of Gabrielle. Because I asked the tarot card reader about it. I was like, why did I even go there? It's like, yeah, your guide has kind of a dark side a little bit. So it gives you an idea of how guides can fall into situations. They can be compromised also. I think so. You can make your guides lazy. You can make them, they become like you. So I'm not putting out as they're bad, but you wonder why people do the things that they do. Because the guides usually fall into that. Some of them do. Not all of them, but some of them do. It's like, man, I'm really into cigarettes. I just want to smoke forever. And so a guide, like, comes into that. It's like, man, I just love this feeling. And so you're like smoking with them, basically. Just for example. How I've seen what cigarettes do to people. It's not fun. Especially I used to smoke cigars ages ago. It lost like feeling in my legs, and circulation wasn't good. So definitely don't recommend that. So yeah, smoking. I have a friend at work is a videographer. That's not pleasant. Anyway, I'm gonna go into that. But anyway, just gives you an idea. Just use it as an example. Like you wonder why some people do the things that they do, such as going to politics. Donald Trump. That's a bit different, but you'd be surprised. I feel around him a female guide that is very kind of demanding and very just a get it done type of guide. You think you feel a male around him. I do feel males, but I feel mostly a female around him doing a lot of stuff. So don't listen to them and just do your thing. Now, as for the ego part of Trump, I believe that's mostly him. I'm seeing more female. That's interesting. I'm seeing more female. Yeah, I guess that makes a lot of sense. He has a lot of feminine energy around him more than I never really connected to him like that before. I've seen more female guys around him being interesting. Yeah, that's fascinating. So it gives you, just use an example. Of course, guides have to, they see everything. So if you're going through negativity, like of a loss of a family member, they have to go through that, and it's hard on them too. It's they know it's lessons, but there's a lot, such as if you lose a limb or something like that, they have to be with you through that. Everything they see everything. We don't see everything. We see what's around us. But it's hard. It's as a guide, of course, they're spiritual beings, so none of this stuff really. They know we're learning from everything. Everything has a purpose. Of course, we don't see it that way. People here are very hard-headed here, as you can tell. A lot of that's actually Martian, reptilian, has a combination of different things. But for how to connect to your guide, though, basically you can visualize them as regular people, higher dimensional people, of course. They're at the highest level you can go, but they still have problems. That's why you come here to fix your problems. As if you're not fixing them, you have to keep. Well, I'm not sure if you always have to come back here, but I believe it's sometimes I don't believe. I believe souls. I think Donna Riggs said this about souls getting kicked out of universes. That does happen. You do kicked out of worlds. Other sides, I'm not sure if you get kicked out of those. I doubt it, but maybe. But you definitely get kicked out of alien environments for sure. Other side, I don't think so. I think everything goes. If you're a darker energy, normally you go to more of a darker side of the other side. I do feel there is a war between the dark side and the other side. And I'm not sure about this, but I imagine this is spirit guides can go rogue also. I had one go rogue. I believe that happens also. I don't think that's really rare though. But then again, it depends on what the person is doing. The person's doing a lot of dark stuff. A lot of it could be influenced from your guide also. I don't want to put any fear in. It's like, oh no, my guide might do this or that. Nah, don't. If you're a wolf, if you're being you, you're probably fine. If you're doing something that's probably illegal, well, that's another story. But for the most part, if you're kosher with everything, cool with everybody, you have nothing to worry about. If you have financial problems, that's not usually your guides. That's usually, it's a test. It's an internal test. But as for what happens on the other side, basically, can you think of it as an angelic mall? Visualize anything you like. Palaces. It's not all white. It's all different colors. Whatever it is. Obviously, when you cross over, you live in this density. When your time's up, that's what makes it very difficult. Like, you live the life of eating meat all the time. Not to say it's bad. But having also a third density environment where guides don't exist, spirits don't exist. So it makes it very difficult to cross over. So some souls is like, okay, you guys are real. And then you can cross over, It's like, obviously religion does help with angels and heaven in that regard. So it does help having a spiritual belief, knowing that where you're going to go, you'll be fine. Most part, you'll be fine. So that's where religion does have its purpose. Anytime you feel like, but then again, religion says you're going to go to hell if you do these things, like be gay or whatever. That's not true. It's just our mentality here is totally bad, or what race you are, which makes no sense. Nothing here makes any sense. So, we're making everything harder for ourselves. We're taking all the freedoms and bliss about being alive, and we're just making everything. They're just turning everything, making it opposite and harder for us, as you can tell. You don't need me to say that, but especially on your deathbed, or if you want to call it that. I wouldn't even want to call it your deathbed, but basically, the more blissful you are, the better. The more you will feel you're fine. You go home to your family, and that you will never leave your family here. Also, meaning in the spirit world, you just connect to them more. That your body needs, you need to get out of your body basically, and also your time's up. A lot of people, I believe this came from Sylvia Brown. Also, a lot of people just when you finish your contract, many stick around. That's up to you. Go for it. And it's understandable. Mostly it's family reasons, of course. Which is, but the more open you are to crossing over, to go to your family, that everything will be fine. You'll be fine. I believe you'll be very excited for it. It's hard here, because especially if you have family and they don't believe in any of this stuff, it makes it very difficult. You want to stay with them, and then it's like you're crossing over. It's like you really want to be with my family still. So then you get stuck sometimes. Not to say that you're going to be trapped there forever, but it does make the process crossing over a bit hard. You always have angels there to assist. The angels are always there that's what angels are, for crossing over. They're the gateway to the other side, basically. And your guides are always there to greet you. They might not greet you because you don't know who they are. So imagine that. Imagine seeing your guys on the other side as you cross over. There might be another way, like I might be help you connect to them, is visualizing them when the time is right to visualize them. That way you're not feeling weird about it. So connecting your guys is very important. Having a relationship with them does help. When you're always feel like, oh, they're not talking to me, well, just talk to them then. No, this is without a connection. Just talk to them. If you remember to do so. I forget. So I'm no different than anybody else. I don't talk to my guys all the time. So there's different methods for everybody. Like I said, visualize them. I think it came from Buddha. Visualize them as an animal, whatever it is. What it is, what do you feel it's best to visualize them as? What makes you feel more comfortable? But Yeshua, for that matter, nothing wrong with that. Buddha, etc. Whatever feels, what feels good, because that's very important. Connecting your guys does help. You open yourself up. Just have a relationship with them, not criticizing them. See, like when Ulysses was here, he was always on this side. He was always a pain in the ass. I always felt aggravated around him. So that's not good. That's when you need to fire him. And fire him, I went to that in another video, so it's anyway, I'm not gonna go into that here. But basically, on the other side, I don't have a full understanding of it, so we're just obviously there's Eric. Channeling Eric gives you different points of view, but I believe it's just anything that you can imagine that you want to be involved with, you will be involved with it. Like a castle or whatever, France, a more positive version of France, or another planet. Whatever it feels comfortable with you, because obviously that's going to be your exit point. But as for the guides or what they are doing, for the most part, those involved with this planet are always talking about us. But it does seem like your main guide is going to always be with you. But I believe they are doing like 20 things, other things also. They'll never leave you ever. But they are going out and playing baseball games or doing whatever, or in orgies or whatever it is. I imagine they're doing that too. It's probably a lot easier. Body function works a lot better over there. So I'm not sure why they say sex is better here. It's like, really? I guess when everything's working, but when everything's not working anymore, what happens then? Is it still fun here? Yeah, right. So, but for the like, your main guide is always going to be the heaviest presence. The other guides, now they'll go off and do whatever, for the most part. They might check in here and there, but they're not, if you need advice or something like that, it's like, oh, I'm good at that, and I'll they're always connected to you, but it doesn't mean you always feel their presence. Your main guide, yes, the main guides usually like 3 or 4 of them. That usually has the main, but it doesn't mean you're going to feel them all the time. You gotta live your life. So, like all the guides, another thing, usually talk through one. Like I have Gabriel, everyone talks to Gabriel. Used to be Ulysses, not anymore. Apollo came through, he's basically my main guide, but everything goes through Gabriel. So it gives you an idea. It takes a lot of stress off, doesn't it? It's like, I need to talk to this guy, that guy, this person, da 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 da. You don't have to do anything. Just talk to one, probably the easiest. So I would just focus on one, doesn't mean it has to be your main guy. So a lot of times it's the newbie here, that's the one that you're here to talk to. The main guy's been around many times, there's many lifetimes here, you've probably had many incarnations with them. And usually you're, for the most part, getting along with each other. But this is all from my experience. But usually the newbie, not necessarily the one that was born yesterday, but the ones that don't really have experience here, never been on this world, they can still communicate with you. You know, all of them, they can still talk to you through the other ones. They all talk through one. You know, one guy's talking to you, and you have the others that are speaking to that one. So there's nothing wrong with that. Like with the tarot card reader, I don't remember her name. Her guy was named Z, and he was always talking like he never had incarnation here, but he was the one that was always talking to her, and he was kind of bullish to her to a certain degree. Kind of like hard on her to a certain degree, but he came crystal clear through her. So, and she talked about Z all the time. So another thing, connect to your guide to get information of anything, such as the other side. Basically, I'm getting from the other side. Make it how you want it to be. Basically, you make it your own. Don't let anybody tell you how it is, because it's different for everybody. How that works, well, it is the other side, so anything can happen. It's whatever spiritual energies. If you want to go to the other side where there's a bunch of grays, let's mention that again, then there'll be grays there. If you want to go to the other side and there's a bunch of Martians, there'll be Martians there. If you want to go to a bunch of angels there, there'll be angels there. It's whatever it is that feels comfortable for you. Because it does help your crossing over. It certainly does. So, if you want to be a bunch of reptilians, most likely they'll be there. It does help, doesn't it, when you think about it? You want to go to a place where you have friends. And you know everything will be fine. Anytime you feel like you're going to go with friends and they're not your friends, you know you got, issues. There's something most likely that's not going to happen. That's how I'm feeling. You will know. Basically, you're already building your path to your next life. Not to say you're leaving anytime soon, but the idea is to get more comfortable with who's around you. Let's see, what else we got? Yeah, they're not really saying a lot because it's basically for you to come up on your own. What do you feel? It's not, it's not for them to dictate what's going on over there. It's for you to discover on your own. There's many different colors there. It's whatever it is that you want. But as for connecting to your guide, it's up to you. It's you can basically, there's different steps. It's like you could say, just I want to have a relationship with you guys, or the guide's name. Can you please help, or ask for the Prime Creator, ask for Yeshua, or Buddha to assist. Well, let's see what Buddha has to say about this. I obviously came through yesterday going through it. It's easier to connect with your guide in a funny manner, to have comedy. It does break the ice, and it does help get to know each other. Comedy, they all have good sense of humors, all of them. Dirty sense of humor also. So you'd be surprised, because they've seen you humans do a lot of things. So, You can make fun of private things, whatever it is. Now, understand, they're not going to go out and tell the world of your privacy, nothing like that. But you made a contract with them for them to see everything. So if you have like a health problem, you connect to them or anything, they're there for everything. Of course, they might not always mention it because you have to go through that type of self discovery, such as you want to move or why am I not moving, and sometimes they don't say a word. It's like, why am I not rich yet? They don't say anything. There is that too. It's like, hey, I submitted my writings or I submitted to this school. When am I going to get? When am I going to get that? They don't say anything. That kind of already tells you the answer. But also, it's like you gotta experience this stuff. So there's a lot of reason behind it. Well, again, just move your life up. It's okay thinking about the future, but it's better to know your future. To know that it will be fine. To know that you will be taken care of. That you will have what it takes to be happy. You will find happiness instead of I might or when. It's like you will. The more you have I will, this will happen. It will happen eventually. As for relationships, there's different stuff with that. Right now, as you go into more of you're leaving your third density point of view. So when you go into a fourth density point of view, it's not always easy to find somebody there. So I believe a lot of it has to do, not always the case though. You're going through a lot. I'm going through that too. I don't have anybody. I'm not really into this. I don't see relationships as anything fulfilling right now. Like celibate or however they call that. Just not really into it. Going through a self-healing, self-discovery. And especially I've seen enough relationships that don't really look like anything. So a lot of people in relationships are criticizing everybody because they're miserable. So there's different stuff for different people, but I believe we're going through a self-healing basically. If you're alone all the time, you're going through a self-healing. It doesn't mean you have to go through it forever, but as for finding a mate, it will come to you when the time is right. If you want it enough, I believe it will happen. It's like winning the lottery. So everybody wants to win the lottery, right? Probably. How many of you go out buying a ticket and actually wanting it? Probably not many. Same thing goes with relationship. I think it's the same thing. You have friendships. You have friendships with other animals, plants. Maybe that's what you're here to just concentrate on, not necessarily physical relationship. Remember, this is just one lifetime. It might seem like it's going on forever, yes. And you obviously want to make it the best you can to experience what you can, of course. But also, this is just one life. This is just a speck. It doesn't feel like that sometimes, but especially when you're feeling, it's different factors. Not everybody's getting along, as you can tell. It's like, would you rather be alone or go into a situation that's not going to be good at all? So a lot of people are I'd rather be alone and not deal with any of that. So a lot of the younger souls are the ones that are dating everybody. The dating machine, it's usually souls that have just arrived here, have like a few lifetimes on this world, or maybe none. So that's where the dating machine is. Older ones, if you've been here long enough, it's like, I've been there, so that's just, I'm not sure if I really want to get involved with it. So there's a lot of that. So different ways of looking at it. But of course, it's a lot of social anxiety when it comes around, unfortunately. It's not that important. Not really. It's not that important. I mean, Euro is what important. And the other stuff's not. It's our culture is kind of backwards, so. Okay, it's very backwards. As for the guys don't care what you do. They're not there to judge you at all. or anything like that. But just from my, I'm getting like visualize. How do you visualize them? It's another way, but it's like there got to be some. It's like basically, it's just with somebody talk to me. Basically, is what you get them to get going. If they don't do that, of course, surround yourself with the light. Of course, surround yourself with the light. Of course, because that's anybody can say, "Oh, I'm right here," and it's not somebody friendly. Happens a lot. So you'll get used to that, but. If you're not connecting your guides, always connect to the angels and ask them for assistance. Yeah, connecting to your guides is not easy. I've always seemed to have an opening, but like I said, I don't talk to mine all the time either. So through meditation, I don't really bring them in either. I just let anybody come through. Basically, anybody has a message. But yeah, we're basically here to become stronger and obviously wiser than we came in here. But we're pretty wise when we came here. We're just forgetting all of our wisdom because we're here to learn certain details. Let's see here. What else we got? Also, with your guides, usually you've had fights with them. And mostly, in some reality, maybe not as a guide, they do argue. Don't always get along with them. There are cases when you do want to fire them, but it's unjust. There's a lot of that going on. But as my old mentors say, if your guides aren't talking to you, go into a meditation. It's like, alright, if somebody's going to talk to me, I'm going to start firing all of you. That's what he said. And then somebody will speak. It's like, this, you can't do this. You got to start talking. So, we went back to that. I wasn't expecting to go to that, but we went back. So, yeah, I just got to threaten them. It's like ridiculous. Don't be easy on him either. Don't be easy. Oh, he's a guide. He's got things to do. It's like, no, don't do that. It's like, no, you're supposed to be talking to me. Talk. So, be super serious about it. Put them on the back burner. It's like, I want other guys that talk to me. You guys aren't doing anything for me. I was expecting to go there. Why do they do that? They're along for the ride. They're learning a lot, but some don't really know what the hell they're doing, it seems. Unfortunately. They have problems just like us in some ways. On the higher dimensions, maybe there's just not enough guides to go around. I'm not sure what's going on there. Some are just very stubborn. They get set in their ways. I'm not sure if they feel like they get offended, but they do feel like it's like in our culture they don't exist, right? So when you're living in a culture where your guys don't exist, why start now talking? I mean, they should be, but some don't. Some just getting set in their ways, and it does happen. And to get out of that is just basically fire them. Let's see if there's any other methods. Talk to angels, talk to Yeshua, talk to anybody that will talk back to you, and try to squeeze them out, basically. Get somebody to talk to you. Like I said, it's not perfect over there. It's a lot of politics that goes on over there. They feel like they know what's best for you, and that's not always the case. So, let's see what else we got. Yeah, I'm about to wrap this up. Let's see here. As I said, many do become very stubborn. In some ways, okay, sometimes it seems like they do connect to the negativity here. and they get kind of lost because they do. They're like living through you, but they don't want to talk to you. They probably, there's this also. It does seem like if they're not talking to you, they're probably doing something they shouldn't be doing. Like feeling guilty. It's like, maybe she bought that purse and she probably shouldn't have, but I wanted it. Stuff like that. He went over and talked to that girl and didn't feel right about it, but man, I wanted to talk to her. You know what I mean? So, from what I'm feeling is some of that has to do with just things they're just not proud of. Some of that. You'd be surprised. So there's a lot of layers there. A lot of them. Yeah, a lot of guides can't be trusted. Also, they might, just like here, they put on this persona, which I find very interesting. I did not know this, and they're found out later on. So there are dark forces working on the other side where they can hide what's going on. You wouldn't think that was possible, but our world is very connected to the dark side, as you can see. So when a guide comes here, they can seem like they can conceal a lot of that, which is very bizarre. But you wouldn't think that would be possible. From what I'm feeling, it is. Not to say it's constantly happening all the time. So that gives you kind of an idea. It's like we are in a negative world, obviously. So we have a lot of negative stuff that happens to us that we're not aware of. So your guides get affected by it too. So they do things they probably shouldn't be doing. Not always, but there are cases, there are different levels of that. I believe it does exist, because there's a dark forces here, as you can see, around us, here and there. Trying to, basically the negative here is just trying to have us destroy ourselves, basically. You can see that by drinking a Coke. Eating any food, it seems, but no. But stuff that it's probably not good for you. That's part of it. A lot of that has to do with just anything that's negative. Basically, I'm losing my concentration and I'm tired. But it's a lot of there's a lot of darkness here that is infiltrating us, as you can see, and guides can get screwed up too. And guides can be manipulated. That I do believe. So it all depends on what's happening to you. We're in a weird situation here. I believe for the most part it's fine. I believe it is fine, but there are cases where they can be manipulated. Meaning the message to get to you, you think you're talking to your guides, talk to somebody else. That's what I mean. So, but I do believe guides themselves can be screwed with. But I believe a lot of that's cleared out, but there are cases of that, from what I'm feeling. There's a lot of stuff that we're not really understanding. Because it does seem like if you say, like, oh, I'm connecting to my guides, they want me to go buy this new car, but I can't afford it, and I'm not sure why I'm doing it. There could be also another party that's getting involved with it. Or it could be just you. That's that too, where you think you're just, I think I need this and yada yada yada. My guides told me and they didn't tell you anything. So there's that too. So that's when we're dealing with our own self. So you have that too. So you might blame it on your guides, whatever. It might be just you putting words in their mouth, basically. There's that too. I think that's rare also, but who knows? I'm not sure. I'm not aware of the billions of people here, one by all the scenarios, but like all of that, I believe a lot of that. I believe guides do get interfered with often. Always not often, but it does happen. So, like I said, I wouldn't put any worry into that, but just to let you know what we're up against, basically. And the other side is not perfect over there, and it does get you can say attacked here and there, and you'll be able to like heal timelines. You'll be able to get more a sense of that. There is, I mean, obviously it's whatever that you feel connected to on the other side. That's where you'd be going when you exit here. But for the most part, building up a relationship with your guide is important. However, I know the firing thing is not exactly, I don't think it works very often, but it can. But first off, I would be demanding in some way, whatever works for you, and just go about it the way you feel like. But you gotta talk to me. You guys are here. Please speak to me. At least somebody. It's not fair you're not hearing from anybody. It should be, you might think it's your thoughts, but it's their thoughts. Let's see here. Well, yes, usually it's a lot easier to connect to your guide, especially as a younger, as a child, of course. And so when you don't have that, the guides do get some of them can get lost in communication. I mean, they're not deciphering anymore. They're just they're doing their own thing, basically. They see you there, you're not listening to them, so they just go out and do their own thing. They're still there to assist, but some do sometimes can get irritated at moments. It depends on the person. It's like I said, it's different for everybody. Apparently you can ask for another aspect of your guide. You can also ask for another aspect of you to get involved. Somebody asked about this. Do you have an aspect of you as a guide? That does happen, not very often. Because sometimes it might be too much you, but your other aspects are assisting, yes. And I believe when you go into astral, you do assist, definitely. Let's see. Let's see here. I guess because I'm around the Nordic aliens a lot, I have a lot of Nordic beings around me. So if you're around a lot of cats, probably have a lot of cat guides around you. Even your main guy is most likely a cat, so it gives you kind of like a feline alien being, but mostly. So the other side is whatever you want it to be, basically. And let's see here. Like it's different for everybody as I said, what's going on over there. Because some do connect to the lower realms a lot. It's like, they're lost souls, and you want to be involved with it, you want to help them. It's like looking at a river. You're always by the river. But if you always want to be, like some of the rich people, this is funny, they're always being rich. Even if they're not connected to anything. Well, over there they are. They're always riding around in their boats. Being rich. Yeah, I think they're rich on the other side, they're rich over here. It's whatever. And also, of course, if you're with the angels, you're always with the angels. So it's whatever you want, whatever it is that you want to connect with. But it's funny with the rich things. I mean, I know I'm humanizing a lot of it, not all together. That's kind of funny. I guess some of the rich people, like super rich people, they just like to show that they like, they just like the fancy toys and all that stuff. So that's why they're, they like the yachts and all that. They know they're not going to connect spiritually. They're like, some of them are. Well, for them, that is a spiritual experience. Owning stuff and enjoying, having a good time, adventurizing. Some of those that are rich are, they've lived lifetimes where they're always, not rich, just feel like they're not accomplishing anything. So that's another reason to have that type of lifetime. It's also for vacation. Some come here for vacation. They have like vacation lives. They haven't really had that hard of a lifetime. They call this a vacation life. I don't know why anybody would call it that. But yeah, so if you're wondering what that looks like, of course, aliens come here for vacation to see us as tourists, of course, but we don't see them. But yeah, I think a lot of people that have pretty good wealth, they just come here to vacation. They've had other lifetimes where, they see what a lot of us go through, poor, just all that stuff. It's like, yeah, I see that, but I don't really want to experience that. I just want to, go to the beach every day. Something around those lines. So, alright, I'm getting tired. So, alright, blessings, everyone. Hopefully this is helpful in some ways. I know I didn't go as far or deep as I was going to, but so I was call those baby steps. There is a lot more to it, of course. But this is where your reality takes you, basically. Yeah, because it was being kind of halted there. It's like, man, just let people visualize your own visualization of your guides and the other side. The ideas for your relationship with your guides and the other side. Because it does help your power come through more clearly. It's different for everybody. It's definitely different for everyone, so that's what makes it awesome. And it just it's not for all of us to remember every alien being and every reality. It's just too much. So we're not really meant to. Of course, on the other side, everything, you got everything. So it does seem like right before we wrap up, right when I heard that, it's like I have all this knowledge. Like you're on the other side, I have all this knowledge. It's like, but I think I can contribute to the dark side better than the light. It's like, that's weird, but that's what I got from that. That's interesting. So, but also be there to bring me out of the dark. Also, it's like some like Alistair Crawley in some regard. It's like I'm gonna take a dive in there, and I need you guys to help me out of it. I might be there for a while. So, as we experience this place, it gives you kind of an idea. Spirits have the choice to do whatever they want. So, light, dark. I believe there is like a line between there's a dark side and a light side, but even something like that. But I believe there obviously the dark side do show up on the other side to some ways. At least the like the angels or spirit guides, you can see like they have a slight darkness. So, anyway. Yeah, as for lower end beings going to the light, probably not. They probably get diffused, but something. There's